Oh my goodness. Hello, world, America, children, men, women. My greatest moment. This is on Prospect Studios Black Cherry Jam compilation CD, available to listen to through Reverb Nation. Welcome to the Church of Someone Unlimited. Yeah. Get your screenshots ready so you can do your memes, you know, with my silly faces and trying to defame me by poking fun and gossiping. I love it. You're my best advertisement. You're doing good, Krug. I hope you're out there doing good. A.D. Lauren, Sabrina Miles needs our prayers. Tom Schuba, I hope you're keeping your head up. I know you got some wolves at the door. Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful track from this Prospect Studio Black Cherry Jam. Yes, it is. Absolutely beautiful. This is Love Ain't No Crime. This is an actual real effort in the studio with me and Dan. We worked on this song for several hours. Dan was coaching me in the studio. One of my first times ever being in a studio with a mentor. And he was coaching with a microphone. A Shure SM58. It's a Jimi Hendrix riff. honest. I'm getting too excited. Yes. Yeah. So I got this I Love Capitalism book. Yeah. I'm not going to read it. No, I don't want his thoughts interfering with my own. And it's just him bragging about, you know, how he built this business. What I want to hear is the story about the shovels that broke. Yeah, and the cordless drill that wouldn't work, and the nail guns that kept jamming up, and how they tried to save money buying nails from another company, and it ended up costing them tons of money in labor and expenses. And they did the same thing with the saws, and they did the same thing with the routers, and they did the same thing with the laborers, you know, hiring through temp service to reestablish, you know, the pay that they're paying the skilled tradesmen, and then having these guys who weren't seasoned vets that knew how to overcompensate for the lack of integrity in the tools and the materials they had to work with. The guys that knew how to work with junk, yeah, the guys who you wouldn't pay them to work with the junk. So you got guys who didn't know how to work with junk, and you paid them, and they kept quitting, of course, because they didn't know what it was like to get a blister from, you know, doing anything. Except master that blister on their penis before they discovered lubricant. Yes, that blister. That's the only one they ever got. barking down there. Get up here. All right, let's get down to business. Oh, yeah! Oh, who wants some money? Money! I'm giving out money, baby. Who we got out there? Timothy Mitchell, great to see you in church. Men become men through the scrutiny of their teachers, their father's scrutiny. Yes. The boy's handed an axe. His father, first thing, scrutinizes the boy on handling the axe handle. Hold it properly so you don't break the axe or harm yourself. Yes, men become men through scrutiny. Yeah. Gossip, on the other hand, is the men talking amongst themselves being scrutinized. Let's get this straight. Write it down. Get that prison tattoo ink out with respect in the bottle. The stuff they use for the World Trade Center's burning, and the brickwork, and the tattoo, the prison number on it. Use that stuff. Write it down with your turkey quill pen and your legal pad. Yes. Men become men by the scrutiny of their teachers. If you have children, you're the scrutinizer. You're the teacher. You're the critic. Teaching the boy to be his critic of the self. To do his best. Always. We do not teach our family members to profit from one another. We teach them to benefit from one another through sharing what they learn, making them stronger as crewmates. If you can't tie knots and you're on my crew, but you're good at folding laundry, I'm going to put you together with a guy who can't fold laundry for shit that's a great knot tire. And the two of you together are going to exchange ideas and become strong. And it's my job as captain to pair you together to recognize your weaknesses. Yes! We do not teach our family members to profit from one another. For instance, charging your children to spend time with your own kids. We don't charge our son to spend time with our granddaughter. No, that's a law. Speaking of laws, let's go to the very idea of man's rejection of church in the Bible. Let's go to it together with a very special Bible. This now magically vanished of a very special Bible here. Here it is, this Bible. Yeah, see, it's all burnt and ruined. No, it's not ruined. It still has the lovely words inside. I just opened it up this morning to show, and I came to this page, ironically enough, Criminal Laws of Theocracy. In the back of the Bible, guides to the laws of the Bible. You see, the rejection of God is the rejection of God's law, the rejection of law itself. To be good, to reject good entirely. The whole basis. So the first argument is arguing, well, who's church, who's Bible? Well, here at Someone Unlimited, the Church of Someone Unlimited, there is no one Bible. There's no one book of knowledge. All books have knowledge. All books have teaching. Even the worst books can be learned from. Yeah, like that. That's 50 Shades of Grey. We can learn a lot from that. Yeah, like what not to write. Oh my goodness, I'm giving you pearls. So, the guide to the laws of the Bible. Well, let's just read here together. Under the theocratic government of the patriarchal period and during the Exodus, all forms of crime were regarded primarily as sins against Jehovah, God. Yeah, Jehovah, that's his name. Yeah, certain classifications are possible, however, such as crimes of immorality, crimes against the public, crimes against one's fellow man, crimes against property, crimes against God. Charging your relatives to watch your own blood is a crime. You're depriving that family of monetary needs to take care of the child, to pay the rent, to pay the heat, to buy the food. There's a whole list of things here. All kinds of things. All kinds of teachings. List. No one needs. The thing is you don't even need to know what's written on paper for laws. The laws are written upon your very heart. Yeah. In your love. The laws are there unwritten. Yeah, you know it's not right to roll your old lady over when she's passed out and stick it at her. Yeah, it's a crime. First of all, it's selfish. First of all, let's get back to my list of commandments. We don't profit from our family members. The only profit you should be making from your family member is when you are doing a business affair together. And you're giving them an opportunity to be part of the family business. But that's a profit you share in. It's your foundation. Yeah, you're part of the foundation. And then your extended family are those people who prove themselves to be friends and prove to have concern for keeping that foundation intact and preserved. The people helping you weed your proverbial garden that you share the fruit with. Yes, we do not teach our families to profit from one another by charging your children to spend time with your own grandchildren. No! That will not be tolerated. We do not sell drugs to our struggling children battling with addiction and bad spending habits we teach them that disable them from even keeping their own home. No, we don't do that. That's a huge crime. That's attempted murder. Multiple times over. For everyone in that household that you're poisoning. We do not hide money from our needy family while convincing our friends to do little tasks for us that we might have to pay somebody else to do. Like sew the patches on my jacket. That's my job for me to do in the wintertime while I plot and plan and scheme my foundation plans. There's pride in that. We do not force our friends to do things they don't want to do. No, I don't want to drink. I wouldn't like a drink. Well, here, have a drink. I said no. No means no. I said, I'm not trying to. I don't want to smoke pot. Oh, but you make me feel a drug addict. I don't care how you feel. You should feel better by my demonstration, my support of mankind, by saying no, by refraining, by keeping my own mind, by keeping my own wits that you prey on for your needs. What if I'm blitzed and all of a sudden it's my fault because I didn't put your fire out for your house because you're so disgustingly dependent on me to do all your bidding because you're a narcissist, maybe. It's called self-preservation. Yeah, if I'm taking away from your family, I shouldn't be there to take from you. No. Well, part of this doesn't make sense. I'm Tom Paine right now. Yes, pain in the ass. Oh, all the capitalists hated Thomas Paine. He wrote a little book called Common Sense. Yes, common sense. Pay yourself first. Some people take advantage of that one. Yeah, I'm coming after these nonprofits too. We do not allow people around us to defame or gossip about those people we call our friends. Yeah, if you support me, then you should be ringing my bell, blowing my horn amongst the naysayers, amongst the scoffers and the skeptics. Yes, just as you would expect me to support those plotting against you. Yes, that's camaraderie. You don't just get to be friends with people. That's a proven thing. You don't just get to have sex with a woman when you start dating her. It's not something you just get to have. You don't just get to cut the cocoon open and get the butterfly out. There's a chrysalis. It takes time. It opens up when it's ready. When it's good and goddamn ready. You don't force anything. Ever. You don't intimidate people to get your way. No. Unless it's the good. Yeah, I'm intimidating you by upholding what's good. Yes. And forcing you to see my disapproval, my scrutiny. We do not refuse to rise to the call of a damsel in distress, a woman, a child in need. You never, ever deny responding to an implicitly made distress call. No. Even if you owe that person money, if you owe that person anything, you shouldn't have to be asked twice. I shouldn't have to get to the end of the sentence before you're like, oh, so-and-so's in trouble. It's like It's a Wonderful Life when the whole town who loved George Bailey, my favorite, Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, the whole town loved him. Everybody pulled up money. George's in trouble? Oh my goodness. And they all come to the rescue, as they should. And here's a big one. You're the man in the village, defending the village. You don't pawn all your weapons to the village next door or to a relative in another village for money. No, you find something of value. If you need money that bad, you never pawn your weapons or your communication, your food, or your women, or your children. You pawn something of value. Yeah, what can you do with your two hands? Oh, nothing? Well, that proves you valueless, worthless, useless. A liability, a debt. A weed in the garden of life, taking nutrients away from the good plants. Yeah, you don't pawn your weapons, manipulate people for money for drugs and alcohol because you don't pay your bills. No. And I'm the asshole because I say these things. No, I'm the leader. There are men out there surrounded by these guys that are scared because they have no support. Not even the police are responding to calls. Men need to know where their authority lies. Yes, you're a captain of the ship. No one boards your ship without permission, especially if you're out at sea. Yeah, we do not refuse to help our fellow man when he finally sets his pride, his embarrassment, his humiliation, when he sets those very valued qualities, valued things, when he sets that aside to even begin to ask another man for help. You never refuse. When a man asks for help, he needs it. But you got to know what a man looks like. Yeah. You don't force him to call a group of people that he has to pay when you're standing right there. No. You must be able. This is very important as a man. Tim, I hope you're listening. You're still there, and I know you're busy. You got kids and your wife and stuff, but you must be able to recognize the state. Okay? When it's standing in your face. Yes, the store owner, yeah, he's a statesman. He represents the state. The mailman, the guy that delivers the mail, yeah, he represents the state. In the state's best interest. If the state says, hey, I think something's going on at Tim's house, keep an eye on things for us, will you? He does that. Yeah, they call that a snitch. If they're the offender, all the offenders call you a snitch when you do the right thing. When you put the fire out, when you feed the kid that needs to be fed, when you indicate that he's crying because he needs a diaper change, you should put the video game down. Oh, yes. You must be able to recognize the state when it's standing in your face. Enemies of the state are monetarily valuable. Yes, they are. With a price, a monetary price on their heads. Yes, they can be gleaned. And soon there's going to be a wave of gleaning. Statesmen are the threat to the deviants, masquerading as concerned constituents while robbing the very state they're a part of for everything and anything they could take. Rewind this and break it down. Reciprocate, please. I'm looking for trolls. Anyone, I'd love to make an example of someone. Anyone, step right up. Let me see your balls. Let me show me your nuts. I'll show you I'm crazy all the time. Yeah, just crazy enough to keep fighting. I'm the guy that always gets back up. And then I kill you when you finally try to catch your breath. When I go out, when I fuck up big. I don't, not just a little bit. Yeah, it's permanent when I do it. You must recognize the state when it's in your face. You must recognize that you are a member of the state. You're a constituent. Yeah, bruised and battered as a consumer, being beat up by the corporate dictation. But you are the state. And when you identify yourself as an enemy of the state, the rest of the state communicates that. You get put on a list. Yes, you do. Churches keep lists. Let's break this down. Statesmen are the threat to the deviants, masquerading as concerned constituents while robbing the very state that they're a part of for everything they could take. Statesman equals authority, you see. Equals supporting the police. Statesman equals peer. Peer equals statesman. It's the same thing. Father, concerned constituent, statesman, authority. Yes, you're criticized when you walk from your truck to the front door and you don't pick up the trash at your feet. Absolutely. You're scrutinized. Yes. You look down on. Your height changes. Books make you taller. You don't want to be. Kermit warns you all the time. The pond of life you're in is knee deep. You need to seek deeper water. Get away from the stinky snappers. I do love snapper. Yes. Statesman equals peer equals policeman. Yeah, hence the terms citizen's arrest. Yeah, if you have enough of a logbook and you have enough supporting evidence, you could freely kill a man. Defunding the police is destroying the very father. Yeah, the father in your community. We have too many boys. Where are the men? They've been reduced psychologically. Neuromanipulation. Methodological research done by Nielsen's Ratings and advertising corporations in conjunction with the MRC for big companies with Ford. Mark Kaline of Ford is on it. Yeah, and everything they do is behind closed doors, and they don't have to share any of the information with anybody. They've been playing with our brains. Yes. Yeah, they've reduced everyone to 14-year-old boys. Impotent 14-year-old boys who can't even shoot a gun. No. Can't even shoot a gun or maintain a gun or manufacture loads to fire the gun. It's going to be a big future in gunsmithing. Okay? Here's a tip. all the people, anybody in my congregation, you need to have a few clues about, first of all, it's all about resourcefulness when it comes down to working without capital. It's all about resourcefulness, okay? Doing cleanups for people and having an eye for detail, knowing what resources look like to begin with. Under my advisement and under my instruction, under my dictation to you, I can educate you on how to recognize where the money is. Going in and cleaning someone's garage out, that little wood pile that's just going to be trash. Or you can easily convince them into throwing it away because you can see they have no use for wood. Wood is valuable. It can be done many things. Clothing articles, the cloth, the fabric itself. With some sewing knowledge, a man, a woman, a child can do anything on a rainy day or snowy day. Hold up in the house in one room, try to keep one room warm. You don't need to heat the whole house. Don't heat the whole house. Get smart. Get smart. You don't need the furnace running at 72 at night when you're sleeping in the bed with the blankets. I'm here to help lead you. I know how to live with nothing. You have to understand that the trash, our trash is so valuable, China's buying it. Yeah, and they're remanufacturing it into goods the capitalists here profiting, they're selling us. And then we're breaking and throwing into the trash again. It's round and round and round it goes. Yeah. The item you have in your hand right now is made of plastic. You probably had 3 times in a previous device or item. Cooking. You must be able to recognize the state. Okay? Where are the men? There aren't any. I have all these answers. I have all kinds of joy, ways to find to show you where the joy and the happiness is. Turn the TV off. It's the programming. It's going to take time to heal. It's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be stress. There's going to be struggle. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be tears. Sacrifices are hard to make when you become to be normally, routinely dependent on certain things. That cold beer at the end of the day. Believe me. Which takes us back to resourcefulness. If you're going to drink alcohol, then make it fun. Make wine. Learn how to make wine. It's very cheap, very easy. Yes, you can have wine if you're just an alcoholic drunk, or you have to have it for a drink. There's nothing wrong with 2-week-old wine. It's very good. Yummy. It's delicious. I love it. Sediment and all. Yeah. It's very easy to make. Make it out of pumpkins right now. Let the pumpkin age, and it'll start to fall apart like spaghetti inside. And you put that in a bucket with some boiling hot water, some sugar. You let it sit for 5 days. Throw a pinch of yeast in it. Pinch yeast. You let it ferment. It's very easy. There's a recipe in my blog. If you're going to drink, make your own alcohol. It's very fun. Go to the grocery store. All the fruit and ugly stuff that nobody will buy because it's bruised. Those bananas, when they get old and black, you can make wine out of that. You can make wine out of anything. Right in the Bible it says, give the brokenhearted a little wine. Don't become a drunkard, but have a little wine. But don't become to bear so many heartaches that a little wine won't do. Address the people that need to be addressed. Take the initiative to give a person the scrutiny that they need to get the pain off of your shoulders. The difficult part with that is that men aren't man enough to subject themselves to the scrutiny. They meet it with violence and intimidation and threats of physical harm or monetary loss. So people are silent. The peers are now indoors hiding. The good people are hiding, afraid, stuffed in a dusty closet shelf in the shoebox of inhibitions, guarded by bullies, standing outside of the closet of life. Eventually, you'll sit in the closet long enough to where you'll become no use, and you'll be discarded. You'll be the same as the ones around you. If you can't beat them, join them. Remember the cartoon, Bugs Bunny? If you can't beat them, join them. Make it look like you're joining them, and then undermine them from the inside. Yeah. See, I'm the one. I don't need to ask for someone to respect me. See? I don't need to worry whether or not I'm being respected. I have self-respect. Yeah, and therefore I can give some of that self-respect. I can give to the men around me that deserve to share it. Yeah, the guy that comes over to talk to me, that jumps right in, sees I'm washing dishes, jumps in, finds a pocket, grabs a plate. That's my brother. That's the guy I love. The guy listens. When somebody asks you for some help, and you can tell if they're listening when you talk to them. Don't come to me and ask me to stop saving my family from falling apart, saving from me possibly being homeless tomorrow morning. Don't stop me, disrupt my efforts of what I'm doing, trying to clean my house so I can find time to make a phone call to call and save my daughter's life. Jump in and help. Yeah, that's a crewmate. Sees what's going on. Sees where they can contribute immediately and be valuable. Yes. And those people, you show them your appreciation. You give them your time while you're tasking together. That's when you bond, when you're working together. That's when your children are developing. When you let them get the milk out of the fridge when you're making the pancakes. You let them get the measuring cups. You tell them what you need next. You're training them to fight. You're training them to preserve their very blood, their life, their beating heart, their breath. You're giving them the power to keep that for themselves. Don't satisfy yourself and settle with the carnival of life and never having nothing, accepting that, society and, it's accepting me accepting my teeth being busted up and saying, oh, that's fine with me. Well, right now, as far as my work goes, I'm not concerned with it. But it does interfere with my ability to eat, nourish myself, and care for myself. Now, your body can't digest its food properly if you can't masticate. Masticate, M-A-S-T-I-C-A-T-E. Yeah, it's the art of chewing. The act where you chew. It's called masticating. You do it with your mandible. Yeah. In the teeth. Yeah, the teeth. Well, all the foods they've been giving us destroyed our teeth. Yeah. And the math is terrible. I've never done meth. A lot of people assume I'm a meth addict or recovered. They think because I'm so skinny, I must be a drug addict. All those labels and those assumptions. Don't get involved. Don't show some concern. Don't get to know a person. Just talk about them. Meghan Markle and those horrid socks she wears. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's just so nasty. You go on a date with a woman and you become close and she gives you the goods. You finally get to make love with her. Yeah. And the first thing you do is go back and tell your buddies about, the odor or the pimple on her ass or some nasty thing like that. Degrading the image of her to them and, not accepting the fact that you're human. Yeah, asshole smells like asshole. Yeah, poop comes out of it. Grow up. Yeah, so it's for dinner. Yeah, give the woman what is hers. It says right in the Bible. I'm the one owed respect. I don't need to ask for it or worry about it. I already have it. I give it out. But it should be easily recognized by anyone with half a brain. I'm trying to be a leader. I'm a father. That makes you a leader. Being a father makes you a leader. Don't let the men around you dissuade you from your agenda, dissuade you from your thoughts, dissuade you from becoming who you are as an individual. You're a bowl in the bakery of life. And the master baker, Mother Nature, puts a little something special on a whim in that bowl and makes something very unique, unlike any other thing. That's you. Yeah, with that crumbly sugar, brown sugar, and oatmeal crumble top on the cinnamon Danish. Yeah, oh yeah. The jelly donuts make fun of him because he got the crumble top. It's gossip, so what? You're special, you got the crumble top. I love it. I love a little of all of that. Oh, but then you get into, preferential stuff. Oh, he likes Bismarcks, Maybe he's a little fruity. You're a human being. You have a range of emotions. Sometimes you feel girly. Sometimes you feel boily. Yeah. Sometimes you get boils. Yeah. Sometimes your friends help you remove all. Yeah. And they don't gossip about it. It's called life. Yeah. Bed bugs, fleas, lice. Living was hard. You look back when they first started taking pictures, you seen the faces on those people. It was torture going out there trying to figure out how to carve out an area so some son of a bitch could come in and take your land from you and build a town. Yeah, claim jumpers, claim robbers, and the Dutch mob. All this nasty business stuff all stems from Dutch business trade practices in the construction business. 246 years ago, and all the slavery and everything is all in tobacco. It was all about tobacco. It had nothing to do with religious freedoms. That was just some other tag-along thing. That was an add-on in the bill. People have been so duped, you don't even realize it. You've been hypnotized and misled. Everybody's been lied to. Yeah, the big lie. Propaganda. I'm the one offering joy and love to share, guide, and support. I'm the one offering every boy around me to be part of the club. Do the pictures for my children's books. Help promote the work I have to sell, to spread the messages. Benefit, profit from that. Sharing that with me by helping promote it. Absolutely. Help me plant the wheat. Help me till the garden. Help me grow and harvest the wheat, and we will enjoy the bread together. That's leadership. The thieves will be killed. Yes. Killed. I offer the listening ear. I offer the marital support. But my examples around here are repeatedly scoffed at and refused. And I still have to endure the whining and the crying. I'm staying here, enduring the threats. Enduring, not running, not hiding. Absolutely removing myself from the presence of evil. Most certainly. Learn from my demonstrations from afar. That's all you get now. Well, I'm done. I'm a Pisces. I'm the one waging the wars. I'm the one without any real men to step up. Yes, I have some boys employed in my teachings, and for that I'm thankful and proud, just as any father would be. Good will prevail over bad and evil. Nature always finds a way to live. Love always wins. Taking back our country means holding every man accountable for his actions, or his lack of actions, in his home and his community. Now, measure up. Measure up. Rise up, eat of this bread, and rise up full. Remove all scrutiny by becoming. You're already the pearl. You haven't looked in the mirror to appreciate it, to observe it, to polish it, to appreciate its uniqueness, to shine like a diamond, like the stars in the sky. I'm a star behind the moon, and I've shoved it out of the way. I'm taking my time. Measure up and remove all scrutiny. My personal time investments are over. My gifts are within my works. My time is for rebuilding my foundation, not taking advantage of the many opportunities I have provided to you all. Well, that is your own choice. The villains are the ones who are not helping me get my foundation repaired, going with me to take care of my property, get the things that I asked help with getting, becoming involved. If toilet paper had a brain, it would know when it's been used, and sometimes reused. And any man, either gender identity, any who want to threaten or impose any type of deviant intimidation upon my person or family members or property from my stand in doing what is right, what is good, what is right for my best interest, the best interest of the community I'm involved in, with a sense of law and decency and community in mind, he will be met with swift and blinding violent defense, possible lethal injuries. Absolutely. It's not a warning. It's a product and a guarantee. Yes. We have big problems. Way more important than arguing about whether a man wants to be a woman or not. Everyone's confused about everything. Because the capitalists, with their methodological research methods to stimulate manipulate consumer buying habits, has interfered with the psychological, cognitive development of man and woman and child. For 50 years, they boasted, Nielsen's ratings boasts of 50 years of TV ratings and taking surveys, targeting the children, recreating what's acceptable through appealing to the children. Slowly but surely, over generations, the children become more demanding. And responsibilities become less and less, and expectations become insequential and immaterial. Anybody who's confused is only confused about one thing. Yeah, that's how to get in my house and get out without me giving them the product. It's a nice product. Very nice product. Yeah. Let's play with Rhonda. Did I say I was pissed? Did I mention that, Tim? Did I happen to say I was pissed, Tim? I'm not sure if I did or not. Did I mention I was disgusted at all? I had a list here somewhere. I'm not sure what I did with it. God, I got all these lucky guitar picks here. Wore out. Let's use this one here from my good buddy, one of my crewmates. Yeah. Oh, man. So anyway, wonderful, wonderful first day at church. Just in time for wieners. Yeah, just in time for wieners. Adam Taylor, you're a little bit late. You might want to go back and rewind and watch this very, very, very special. Yes, highly volatile show. Yes, I can't wait. I proclaimed on April 26th that I will light a fire in the hearts of all men. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. You might want to visit my YouTube channel, Mr. Blues and Langus. That's my two favorite things put together, blues and cunnilingus. Oh, yeah. Don't make me explain it. I don't like explaining shit. Yeah, if I have to explain everything, you should go back, sit in the back of the class, and take some notes and work your way up towards the front of the class, and do not ever hesitate to ask a good, valid question. There are such things as stupid questions. Don't believe what you've been told for the last 50 years. Yes, you've been misguided. Our nation is being robbed from us. Yes, and your very friends need to be inventoried, stat, because your ship is sinking, and I'm trying to stop that from happening. I'm Captain Mad Zack, crazy like a fox, mad scientist mad. Yes, I have a whole basket of things to do. I have nothing at all, yet I have everything. Everything, and I dare any man in need to challenge me, any woman, any child, challenge me. Yes. Yes. Anyway, proving myself time and time again. A track record. Go back, see what I was a year ago. See what I've become. See what I have to share. Try and poke holes in anything. I dare you. I beg you. I'm looking for a man to reciprocate with. Somebody with a functioning brain. Yeah. Who doesn't have a favorite sitcom or series that's stupid. Yeah, fictional. Yeah. If you don't watch Ancient Aliens or History Channel or Discovery or something like that, you're absolutely useless. Yeah. Take some time. Go watch the Frontier show from PBS. Yeah. Yeah. Frontier House, it's called. Frontier House. Go watch that. They took some people from the city and they put them on a frontier and they made them live. And there was a lot of crying, but in the end, they refused to leave. You know, Frontier House, public broadcasting. That's your gift. And then everything else I have to share is yours. Everything I have to share is yours. Yeah, provided you're wise enough to pick the pearls up from the sludge that you're standing in among the swine that are surrounding you in life. I do understand, but I love bacon. And I do. Peace, love, who cares? Dare to be original. Dare to take my offerings, follow my lead, become a leader where you're standing, and start pissing people off right now. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to be famous and rich, you have to be controversial. Yeah. And right now the easiest way to stand out and be controversial is do the right thing. Yeah. And speak the truth. That's all you gotta do. It's easy. It's easier than masturbating. It is. I think I'll go do that now.